Hey everyone, Richard from Twitter wanted to share this video with you because it is college time and this is pertinent to your sons and daughters, grandsons, granddaughters going to college. If you're not familiar with who I am a former police detective from Central Virginia, former federal investigator, rural Virginia, mountain areas, and North Carolina to Georgia line. I've worked a number of domestic and sexual assault cases, some of which will never be solved due to lack of a valid attacker or evidence. I'm also a women's self-defense and safety expert and instructor. I'm working on a book on that topic right now, and I don't normally share information with guys because we don't want them to know what we teach our women. However, this is pertinent to college age, so I wanted to get this out for your sons, daughters, etc. There is some sensitive information in this, so please share as you're comfortable doing so, but there's very legal information that can hopefully get them to not get caught up in a legal situation while they're in school. If we say the word rape, what conjures up in most people's minds is this man in a dark trench coat behind the bush that's going to jump out and attack a woman while she's running or walking home or something at night. Rape is defined a number of different ways in a number of different localities. For example, California defines rape under Penal Code 261, unless they've recently changed it, as sexual intercourse with a female without consent. Canada does not have a separate rape charge. They include rape along with kissing, fondling, groping, etc. as sexual assault. Virginia has a wide variety of charges, including rape, indecent liberties with a minor, etc., which can be just based on age differentials and the age of the two individuals involved. Federal definition of forcible rape from 1927 up until about 2012 was simply stated as carnal knowledge with a female without consent. Robert Mueller, then acting director of the FBI, changed it to read penetration of any orifice, no matter how slight, by a sexual organ or object, which protects the LGBTQ community now. It's not just simply a man raping a woman, it can be anything. It's so wide the board. All of the laws, no matter how they define rape, all say without consent, and that's the point that I want to talk to today for your sons and daughters, because this is where a lot of the college age kids get mixed up. We know from federal statistics that 18 to 24 is the most dangerous age for sexual assaults to occur. This is partially because of sexual predators that are targeting a specific age range as opposed to rapists that don't, and I talk more about that in my conferences and in the book coming up. But also, sexual assault is the number one crime that happens in college. The number one crime that happens from August, September, October, and November. So the beginning of school year to winter break, the primary time that sexual assaults happen. So this is a very key time to share this information if you're comfortable with doing so. Some of this information may be sensitive and you may not want to do so. While this information applies to the LGBTQ community, for the cases of this example, I will only say boy-girl, just for ease of examples. Consent is very, very, very specific when it comes to a rape charge or rape allegations. And since all laws say without consent, I want to talk about that. Consent is described as by word or action. Consent must be given by word or action for a consensual sexual relationship to happen. So, someone that is unconscious cannot consent. They can't give word or action to consent. Likewise, if a sexual encounter begins with someone that is conscious, and then they are rendered unconscious at any point in time, any further action after that point of unconsciousness constitutes rape by the law. The law also protects those that are mentally or emotionally disabled and are incapable of giving consent. They may be in their 40s. but they have an emotional or mental capacity of a 10-year-old. They can't consent, okay? Keeping in mind that of legal age, 18, 19, whatever the case may be, they're off to college, they're consuming alcohol, which is a big factor in why these sexual assaults are predominant in college, because alcohol is highly involved, as is drugs, as is a level of consciousness, as is the failure to recognize consent versus non-consent, all of which get tied up into sexual assault and rape charges. So I do not want your sons or daughters mixed up in this. Consent being given by action or word. Let's assume that a guy and girl in college meet and they go to a dorm or wherever, and they're engaging in mutually consensual sex. It's their legal right to do so. And at any point in time, either party can have a change of mind. And they can, maybe they forgot to wear protection, maybe they forgot a pill, maybe they just changed their mind, whatever the case may be. At the point of, by word or action, consent is then withdrawn. No, stop, a pushing of away, any attempt to separate the two parties. Any further action that is taken after that point constitutes rape. No way around it. So if you are engaged in a mutually conscious and consensual sex act, and one of the parties makes any time, any way change by word or action to stop or cease and desist, you must do so. We as the guys, I hope that times are changing, and it's a shame that we have to make this proclamation to our sons or grandsons. We're getting there, but we're not quite there yet, obviously, because the statistics are still high. It is the girl that makes the decision, what she wants, how far she's willing to go. It is not the guy's choice, it is the girl's choice. The girl will only open the door to a point that she is comfortable opening, and she concedes to do so. It is the guy's responsibility to be respectful to that point. Just because a girl cracks the door open does not mean she wants to do everything. And it's very important. Just because she was agreeable at one point in time, a guy has to understand that legally she has a right to change her mind at any point in time. And if you continue to do anything after that point, you are guilty of rape. And a jury will take a look at the relationship between two parties and make a determination as to whether sufficient denial of consent took place. So we know that alcohol is a heavy factor. We know that drugs are also a heavy factor in these cases. I want to share this information with your daughters or your granddaughters, because we do know that they will go out, they will engage in parties, activities outside of the college campus. Do not, unless you see the bartender pour the drink and you do not let it out of your sight, do not accept an open drink from anybody. You open the drink yourself. If you go to a party, bar, or anything else with your girlfriends or a friend, you do not leave that friend there. You do not ask to stay. You come together, you leave together. If a guy is respectful and you say that you have to leave with your friends, can I have your number? They will give you their number. You do not give them your number, okay? You maintain control of your personal information, your social media, because if they have your information, your phone number, they can go in through apps and find out all they need is your name. It's not hard to find out a person's Facebook, social media. They will find out your information. We know that human trafficking, the average age of a victim, an abductee from human trafficking, is 12. That does not mean that they will not go up to 18, 19. We also know that sexual predators and human traffickers will plant people at college local bars to make contact, and this can be a girl or a guy. to make contact with predominantly a female, but it can be a male. Get their contact information, make an arrangement, and then they will give you some sort of drug, and you will be taken away. And the average lifespan of someone that is in the sex trafficking business, a victim, the average lifespan is 7 years. So the points that I want to make to your college sons and daughters is A, you are legally entitled to concede and agree to sex at any point in time as long as you're of a legal age. You are also legally allowed to change your mind at any point in time. Even if you are engaged in a sexual act, if you or either party decide to stop at any point in time, which is your legal right to do, the other party must comply. Must comply. If not, they are guilty of rape. If you are unconscious at any point in time and an act occurs, that is also rape. I would hope in my teachings from law enforcement, etc., that if we come across, as a man, and we come across, we're at a party, a girl that is unconscious or on the couch or on the floor, we would know to roll that person over to their side so they don't vomit and asphyxiate and die, and we would contact 911. Forget the legal ramifications. Saving someone's life is more important. As a girl or a guy, do not drink to the point of that at a party. Do so at the safety of your own dorm. If you're of legal age, of course, I can't say drink, but we know that this happens. So do so safely if you're going to do so. Do not leave your drink unattended. Do not leave your friend at the bar or party that you went with, and do not ask to stay. Do not give the guy your number. You get the guy's number and you contact them at your will. You control your data. You control your safety. Okay? I wanted to make this information known to your college sons and daughters from a legal standpoint, what constitutes rape, what doesn't, what constitutes consent and what doesn't. Sorry, I haven't even had breakfast yet, and it's already almost noon. So in an effort to help bring awareness to what their rights are and not get them caught up in some legal issues. We want you safe. We want you to have fun in your college years. It's incredibly an amazing time. But you've got fathers, mothers, brothers and sisters that want you to come home safely. So please be proactive in that. Guys, just because a girl opens up a door a little bit does not mean you're going all the way. Be respectful. Honor her decision to say no. Okay? Otherwise, you are guilty of rape, and it will follow you for the rest of your life. There is no juvenile charge that's going to be hidden. It will follow you. It will affect your career. It will affect your military career if that's an avenue that you want to go down. It will affect your law enforcement career if that's an avenue you want to go down. There are a number of people in Virginia that are registered sex offenders because they were 18 having sex, even consensual, with a 17-year-old girl. And now they are registered sex offenders, which will affect them for the rest of their life. They have to register every time they move somewhere. So please be careful, have fun. Remember, I am working on a book on this topic that is for women only. Share this information with your daughters and your sons as you see fit. If you have any other questions, feel free to DM me. I'd be happy to share further information. And again, I do seminars and instructions for women in corporate settings. Girls that are going to colleges, contact your campus police. A lot of times they will have self-defense courses for you to take. If they don't, local law enforcement may be able to come in and do so. Your size does not affect your ability to protect yourself. Okay? Be safe. Want to hear of good years to come.